What's up guys, welcome to my channel. Today I'll be discussing the topic of procrastination, primarily using the academic literature surrounding the subject. I'll be talking through the misconceptions about procrastination, why we're prone to putting things off, and towards the end of the video I'll give you a couple of ways that you can consistently overcome it. My name is James and I work for a publisher in Oxford, and I work with both academic journals and books. I get to see what material gets published by academics and how they differ to the information that is provided to you on social platforms. My aim is to help you navigate through the influencer side of productivity, helping you see which parts of self-improvement can be useful to you and which might not. So if you're interested in listening to academic breakdowns within productivity and self-improvement, please consider subscribing. I break down productivity books, techniques, trends, and more. Alright, let's get into the video. Procrastination is such a common issue. We have all experienced it, some of us much more than others. Simplistically, we view procrastination as the putting off of a task, but this isn't entirely the correct definition. See, the specific definition of procrastination is the act of delaying something that you should do, usually because you do not want to do it. The bit to focus on here is that you should be doing it, and the key is in finding out why you do not want to do it. Let's consider an example. Emma had a month to prepare for her big work presentation, but she spent the weeks leading up to it merely thinking about it, and instead browsed social media and binge-watched TV shows. The night before the presentation, she panicked and stayed up all night trying to put together her slides and notes, rushing to get everything done, and harming the quality of her work in the process. Why did she wait so long to get a start on her work? She knew it would take a relatively long amount of time to do a good job of it, and had she worked on it earlier, she would have certainly breezed through it and perfected her presentation. Was Emma being lazy? There's a slight chance it could be caused by laziness, but it would be an unfair label to attach to the situation. The YouTuber and recently published author, Ali Abdaal, highlights in his book, Feel Good Productivity, that procrastination mainly stems from one of three sources: confusion, fear, or inertia. In Emma's case, it was inertia and confusion that were the likely culprits, as her deadline was a month in advance. Despite acknowledging the time commitment to the presentation, Emma simply hadn't spent any time in the first few weeks detailing what was required of her, so there was no desire to get started. Here's where we can draw some possible fixes for procrastination. In his book, Abdaal suggests creating a sense of clarity if confusion is the issue. How? By writing out a game plan, dividing your project into smaller steps, and highlighting a next step so you can get started. And what if it is inertia that is causing the problem? Well, Abdaal advocates action in any form. If you know what to do next but don't want to do it, consider adding something fun to it, like rewarding yourself for doing the work, or to look for exciting parts to add. I've done a full review of Abdaal's book, Feel Good Productivity, so if you'd like to check out what his book is all about, please check it out here. So to reiterate, procrastination is the act of delaying something that you should be working on. It's quite fascinating that we are so prone to putting off important work, as it seems quite silly for us to do so. Well, there is a psychological perspective that helps illustrate why procrastination is a normal human thing to do. What could possibly be the reason that justifies procrastination? Well, it's our brain's way of trying to protect us from threat. Important projects typically set off the alarm bells inside of us, and our natural response is to avoid the threat. Most physical threats are thwarted by avoidance, as we are not built to deal with such threats. Lions, snakes, and dangerous terrain are all best avoided if we want to survive. But surely presentations, office work, and running errands aren't comparable to the threat of a lion. Yes, of course they aren't, but the same parts of our brain are activated when we have higher expectations that need to be met. A key element to this is stress. If we need to do a good job with something, if we're being counted on by others, we are prone to building stress levels. So, if we revisit Emma's situation with her presentation, it becomes more clear as to why the project was put off for so long. She had a month to do the work. That means it was on her mind for the whole month, but action was only required of her when the deadline was truly around the corner. The stress of the work, but the lack of clarity or game plan, had boxed her into a cycle of procrastination as the time dwindled by. What should we do to help prevent being in situations where we can procrastinate? First of all, we should absolve ourselves of our own high expectations and accept that we are likely to procrastinate in the future, so it's okay. It's all about limiting the negative impact of procrastination, which of course includes quality of work, missing deadlines, and quite frankly, the anguish of thinking about the task. We need to look out for the three common triggers: confusion, fear, and inertia. We can offset these triggers by using their opposites: clarity, courage, and action. Combining these three elements are your best bet for overcoming procrastination, so let's see what these are in practice. With a final revisit of our friend Emma's situation, we implement the first principle: clarity. Emma should be noting down her project somewhere on her computer or journal upon receiving it from her manager, and should set a non-negotiable time within the next few days to write an outline. She should get this out of the way first, as it is a form of action and helps clarify what the next steps are to take. Within these principles, she should incentivize herself with gradual rewards along the way, and should block out the time on her calendar so she can build the mindset and courage to perform each step. Finally, she should find ways to lower the barriers to getting started on each step, such as eliminating distractions and injecting fun into the task, like making herself a nice drink or playing gentle music in the background. With this game plan in mind, Emma is still likely to procrastinate at times, but she is unlikely to chronically procrastinate, and hopefully to no detriment. Procrastination is something we all experience as humans. It's in our nature and it's completely normal. The misconception is that it is caused by laziness, but as we learned today, it is usually a consequence of fear, confusion, or inertia. We need to find ways to de-stress, clarify the work, and reward ourselves for the projects we put off, instead of judging ourselves too harshly. Okay guys, thank you very much for listening to my discussion surrounding procrastination and how to overcome it. If you'd like to hear more breakdowns of the key topics within productivity, please subscribe to the channel so you can see more of them. I will also be breaking down productivity and self-improvement books too, and will help disseminate between the key points that have academic merit and what you could do without. Thank you once again for listening.